peculiar that all these Christians are now talking about the manosphere. He gives us one mind, man. I guess that's why we're all talking about it right now. But I mean, it's a certain thing that's hard to escape because God has created him and her from the beginning, and we are in a time in which people are trying to switch the gender roles, which gender is really a made-up construct, to be honest, by a man who actually liked to touch little kids. So look that up. But you know, I maybe have been spending so much time in the manosphere that is starting to frustrate me, and I had to confess to myself earlier today that I'm actually angry. I am angry because there seems to be a lack of support and compassion and mercy towards black women. And from what I can see is it is perpetuated by a variety of different ethnicities and races. We are looked at as the bottom of the totem pole, even by black men. Like I said, I've been told by black men they don't want to date me because I'm black. Never wanted to date them. Sometimes it was just literally randomly said to me, and I would sometimes be like, okay, don't really know where that came from, but it's a thing. So, and it's because of people's subconscious stereotypes and ideologies concerning other people, you know? Yeah. So someone had just actually made a video concerning that, and it served to upset me for some reason. And I don't want to say for some reason, I think I'm just tired of it. Like, yes, you're giving all this compassion to black men because they are in the state that they are in, which is really sad. I don't really know what's going on in their minds. I think there's a lot of deep-seated things that need to come to the surface, and I don't know why black men have not sat down and tried to reflect concerning these things. Like, to me, that is just something man should naturally be doing all the time. But don't get me wrong, I just don't know. I feel like black men might not be doing it as much as other people. And so they're carrying all these things in their DNA, these curses and that kind of thing, that are causing them a lot of destruction. And out of their destruction, they are destructing other people, especially black women. And so part of me is like, okay, well, that's really sad that that's happening to you. But I cannot say that people have not been telling them in these manosphere channels what the truth is. And what they do is they go off, they start name calling anyone and everyone, just acting in super embarrassing ways and causing themselves more destruction. So it's not as if they haven't been warned, you know. And so what I see is a group of men that don't actually know how to be men trying to be men. They were never taught how to do it. They never knew who to seek to learn how to do it. You know, many of them probably didn't have fathers in their lives. You know, there was no guidance there type deal. And so they are going off men who have likely sold their souls to the devil to try to understand how to be a man and get women. And the rap community, the black community, is especially perpetuated that the more women you get, the more manly you are. Let's brag and boast about how many women we can sleep with. And so that is the goal for a lot of black men. And they just end up putting themselves into that destruction more and more and more, and then they blame the women that they made hoes, because they're telling them that you need to dress this way, you need to look this way, you need to act this way so I can get some. I'm not caring about the future. I don't have a long-term projection of the things that I do, you know, and the harm that they might cause down the line. There's none of that going on. There's not that self-reflection. And so they go out, they make all these hoes, these women that hate themselves. That's what they end up making, telling the women that they don't want them because they're black, or that, you know, they only wanted to sleep with them or whatever to deal with. And then they get mad when they can't find any women down the line that are going to be decent for them. Whose fault is that? Come on, you're supposed to be the head. And this is why I'm saying it's your fault, because when you work at a summer camp, I work at a summer camp, and the leaders will always be like, example, example, example. You have to be example to children. And so you as a lead, you need to be example for these women. And if you are out here telling them to do the wrong things and act in the wrong ways, guess what? You're not playing your role as a man. You're supposed to take that authority as a man. And so we've got these people, of course, giving compassion and mercy towards black men, even though they've been told time and time again, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this. Going out trashing the women, trashing themselves, you know. But when are you actually going to change your behavior? When is that going to happen? Because growing up in a family with single women everywhere, who have played the role of the matriarch and the patriarch, fathers nowhere to be found, and you want to blame the women? Where were you at? Where? So I don't feel that bad I don't feel that bad about it because it's partially your fault. I would say a whole lot of it is for not being the head. And I might be speaking from, the fact that I grew up with a single mom. I might be speaking concerning that. But if the team captain fails, the whole team fails. So I decided to, take responsibility and turn my life over to God. Like, I decided to do that. You could actually do that, but you're not doing that. And you want to continue to blame other people for everything that's going on in your life. I said I can no longer live the life that I'm living anymore. Something's got to change. And so when I started following God, things started to change. And I realized the importance and the purpose of a woman. And so now I'm like all about that traditional family unit. I am definitely not going to be a single mom. I am not repeating that in my life. And I do not hate men either. I love men. I hope that they change their lives for the better. But I'm also not going to sit here and coddle people at the same time. I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh yeah, it's all the black woman's fault before the fall of the black men. Okay, you were the one that wanted that woman to wear that bikini. You wanted that. You said she looks better when she's half naked. That's why women wear bikinis. They want to impress men. Okay, everything the woman does usually is to impress men. That's why the Bible says, she'll long for her husband, because that's what we do. We long for our husbands. That's what we do. We will do anything to get a husband, even if it's like the complete opposite of what we need to do to get a husband, because you know that you can manipulate women into those things, and you do it, and then you blame them because they were manipulated into it. You blame them for you deceiving them. That is terrible. Take responsibility. I'm tired of hearing about it, for real. God is the way. That's the end of the discussion. You guys be blessed. Bye.